guys, welcome back. So we're on lesson number 11. Oh my goodness, we're moving right along. So lesson number 11, again, a lot of really high frequency signs. We got like temperatures in here and stuff too. It's a good one. Okay, so the first word on lesson number 11 is the sign for happen. So we're going to use one fingers like this. And we're going to go, they're going to start with palms up and then they're going to come inward and go palm down. Happen. This is also the sign for when it's used as a statement. So if I was saying, when are you going to come over to my house? But if I was saying, when you come over to my house, make sure you take your shoes off. So notice when, the difference between when is a statement and when is a question. So this sign for when is a question, and the sign for happen would be the sign you would use for when as a statement. Okay, next we have the sign for what kind or what type. We're going to make K hand shapes here, and we're going to rotate them around each other. Now it's a question, so a WH question, so what kind, with the WH question on your face. What kind? You can also use it for what type, or what model, or what style. Okay, next we have the sign for take care of, or careful. So it's K hand shapes again, and you go in a circular motion like that. Good. Take care of, or be careful. Sometimes people will do this for take care of. It's usually, I notice people will often sign it like that when they're taking care of something that they don't really want to take care of. So like, I have to take care of my neighbor's big slobbery dog, and I don't even like dogs. Then I would sign take care of like this. Whereas I'm going to take care of my niece for the afternoon, then I would sign it like this. Again, that's not a rule. I've just noticed it seems like people will often distinguish between the two with that sign. Okay, next is a sign for anyways, or whatever, or anyhow, or doesn't matter. And you're actually, it's kind of like the color gray, the sign for gray, but it's more floppy and laid back. So, whatever, anyways, doesn't matter, all the same sign. Okay, next we have the sign for become. So we're going to use flat hand shapes, and they're going to touch each other, and then we're going to flip them like this, and our hands slide across each other like that. So become. Now, you can also use this for the word be if you're using it for the concept of become. So, I want to be an astronaut when I grow up would be you would sign become instead of the be. If I was using the word get, but I was saying, I hope I don't get sick. You don't go get sick. You get sick. You become sick. So the sign for become can also be used for be and get as well. Okay, next is the sign for change. And this sign is similar to become, but you use the X hand shapes and you reverse them like that. So change. So I need to change my clothes. I'm going to change jobs, work. Okay. Next is a sign for before, and before as in prior to. The sign would be, so this hand is going to pull away from the other one. So before. If I was using the word before as in referring to the past, I would go like this. But if I'm using before as in prior to, then I would sign it like that. Okay, and then after, two ways to do that. You can do after, like an after school program, after hours. But if I was using after to show a sequence of time or to show that something happens first and then something else happens. In ASL, you put things in chronological order. So I would say, and you would use the finish sign or the after sign in between to show when that's done, then this happens. So let me give you an example. If I was saying, after school, I go to work. Let's see. In English, we would often say, I go to work after school. So we would actually flip them. But ASL, you always sign them in the order that they happen. So when school is what happens first. So when school is finished, then work, I go. So see how they get flipped like that? But they're put in chronological order. Let's see. Believe. The sign for believe, touch on your head like think, and then go into the sign for married. Think of like marrying your thoughts, like you believe a thought so much that you would marry it. So believe. Next, we have the sign for lose or lost. You hold your hands together like this, and then you drop them open like that. Lost or lose. It looks like you just dropped something on the ground and can't find it now. So lose or lost. And that's specifically referring to lose something, as in I have to look for it. Not like in as I lost the game, or did you lose your game? That would be a different sign. Okay, next is the sign for look for or search. You're going to use a C hand shape. Think of like it looks like a magnifying glass. Search for or look for. And then find, we're going to have open fingers, and then we're going to pull up like we just found something. Oh, there it is, right? So find. Okay, let's see. By the way, this is also the sign for pick or choose. If there's like two choices, you can even go like this. You need to choose which one you want. There's only two choices, so choose or pick. And then if you come up from the ground, it's find. Hot and cold. Hot, think of like you put something in your mouth and it's so hot you have to spit it back out. And then cold looks like you're shivering, like with a cold look on your face. Cold. Winter is actually signed like this without a cold expression on your face. And we'll go into seasons and weather later. But cold, you make it look like you're shivering. Cold. So we have hot and cold, and then warm. This one you start with kind of a fist. You can even go warm or warm. To me, it kind of looks, in the wintertime when you go up to glass, and the glass is really cold, and if you come up close, your breath fogs up the glass. That's kind of what I think of when I see the sign for warm. Think of fogging up the cold glass in the wintertime. Warm. And then cool. Different than this, we've done this sign for cool. This is cool as in like temperature cool. Cool. So the food needs to cool down. Cool. Next is the signs for don't mind and don't care. They're really close. So don't mind, you take your one finger and touch the tip of your nose and go like this. Don't mind. Or do you mind? So this is a really common way to ask someone to do a favor for you. Do you mind? And then if I wanted to reply, oh yeah, I don't mind. Don't mind. So you can turn it into a question, do you mind? Or a statement or a response, I don't mind. And then if you do the full fingers from the nose, it's don't care. I don't care, whatever. Don't care. So don't care and don't mind. All right, two more. No problem. I love this sign. So we're going to make F hand shapes, and we're going to shake them back and forth like this. No problem. Piece of cake. No big deal. Not a big deal. So you just shake them back and forth like that. No big deal, no problem. And then the last one, the last sign is a sign for area or space. So if I wanted to say, for example, playground, I would sign play and then I would go ground, like that. If I was, so it's just areas in general. So like a baseball field, I would sign baseball and then I would sign field. So this sign just indicates area or space, and you label it in different ways. Okay, so in the grammatical section, there's two things there. One of them we talked about in ASL, how we put things in chronological order in the sequence that they happened in. And then the other thing was the state of being verbs in American Sign Language, you probably noticed, are often dropped. They're not necessary in a visual language the way that they are in English. So it may seem like the language is broken or missing content, but it's actually not. In a visual language, those type of verbs are not required, the state of being verbs. So like, I am happy, I would just say, or you are very nice. You notice how those little words are not necessary. Okay, let's do a couple of practice sentences. Let's see. What happened to your eye? And then how about, please change your clothes, you stink. Let's see. One more. Did you move here last year? So last year being your time indicator, and then did you move? And it's a directional sign, so the move ends right here to show, did you move here? Yay! All right. Keep practicing. You guys totally got this. Thank you.